Good afternoon, everyone. Coming into the chat. I don't want to rush talking. I got some exciting stuff to show you here as we continue to go, moving along and celebrating 250 years and anniversary in the United States of America, the birth of America, and those who fought and died in the battle for this nation to keep America strong. And what I'm saying here is that I'm going to show you some history of a church that I came across where I had to say I need to talk to people in the community about because this is a historic church. I read the church. I'm coming across around the church now. Let me turn the camera that way. I don't really like to put the camera on people. And I see somebody crossing the street and I don't want my camera on them. But anyway, here we go. Okay, I'm walking in Wilmington, Delaware. And here is the church that I see. It's in Wilmington, Delaware. It's next to the, look at how this place look. And it's another church that worships here in the Wilmington area. I don't know, but it's some history because I was reading the plat up here, the Asbury Methodist Episcopal Church. And I came up in the African Methodist Episcopal. This is a Methodist church. And the family, there could be a family to this church here. I don't know if it was a black church. I think it was a white church. But they got the name here of the Ashbury family. Okay, whoever ministered this church, but it looks so like people destroyed. They didn't take very good. They could redo this church because this is a history, part of Delaware's history. Look at the year. Now we're gonna go to the grave site of the church. Look at this. This is trash. They got the place all trashy. And I was talking to. I said, who is the what you call this? I said, you're gonna have to get in contact with some people. They gotta fix this. This is history right here. This is a part of American history. And this church was here since 17 something. And look at how they kept the gravesite. It's not manicured or nothing. But look at the tombstones. It's the Amy Du Bois family, Sparks. All this tell the story of the people who went to this church and their children. I see one grave is 1886, 1815, 1822. 1828. All of this history in this family, and look how they got this gravesite. Look at the fence. They need to fix this thing up. This is somebody's family history right here. And they land. Look at that. Look at this. I said I needed to show y'all this. Okay, but the bishop probably was buried on this rock here. This is where his tomb is. This got to be his because that one, all the ones you see that are on the high number, all the ones you see that's pointing up, they did things for the church. The people loved them, and there's probably some back there too. They need to clean this up. That's the same thing I was saying about President. I was telling people, learn your American history. You call yourself an American, but part of being American, you got to know what land you on. You got to find your ancestry here. And sometimes visiting some of the grave sites in those churches where you grew up at, or maybe your family came from, you find your history in those grave sites. And you learn the people that were here. Like the pillars that was pointing up towards the sky, those were the men who served the church in their leadership as the pastor, the bishop, or whatever. That's their tomb. Okay, and then the people that are down next to them and everything, some of their families got their plots there. And it's just telling us the Ashbury, whatever. Those are that was the families in that church. Okay? That did the things in the community. So, wow. Everywhere you live, there is your family history there. That's why I say even visit some of the president's graves. That's I was like saying, I was looking at President William McKinley's. I was looking at a document. Hey, sis. All right. I was looking at, you just came back from the church. How y'all doing? Okay. Yeah. So, I don't like putting the camera in front of people. But it was some weird stuff going on next to me. But anyway, like I said, y'all, I'm at the bus stop because that's how I'm trying to get around. But this is, I mean, I've been really enjoying my vacation, jobless and everything. But I've been doing a lot of great things. And I'm not stressing myself. I'm having fun. I haven't had so much fun, I mean, really, for the summer in a long time. Always just going to work, getting up, going to work, feeling like I want to stay home today, but I got to pay that bill. But hey, but anyway, I'm making the best of it. That's all. While I'm out here looking for a job and meeting people, how you doing? And doing my Delaware tour in historic moments here in Delaware and teaching some history in Delaware. Especially celebrating the 250th year of the anniversary of our country, of our nation. So I'm taking advantage of this opportunity. Amen. Ooh, the bus driver's here. Hey, hold on, y'all. I gotta get on this bus. Let him go. I'll wait for the next one. I'll sit out here and talk with y'all. Let me see. He waited. What about President William McKinley? When you get a chance, go look him up. President William McKinley. This is your time now. And celebrating 250 years in America is to do some history on your presidents. In every state that you live in, learn about who he is, or not even him, but the presidents at the time before this part in America, who they were. And visiting their grave sites will tell their story, and also will also show you how the people felt about them, how they ruled over this nation, how they carried this nation. It tells their story. But William McKinley's, you're going to find his one very interesting. The way they landscape his grave site is in the landscape of the sword. The sword, okay? Very powerful. That's why I said go and visit his grave site if you're in Ohio. Canton, I think somewhere, Canton, Ohio, somewhere, that's where he's at. But find out where they at and go visit them with your family and your kids this summer and teach them some history about the nation they live in. It's beautiful. You learn their story, oh my God, it's going to just do something to your heart. Well, with that being said, I'm going to talk with you all later. Take care and be safe. Peace.